What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Rad and Dad channel video, or welcome if it's your first time. Either way, very glad to have you. We're finally getting to the video where I explain to all of you guys what my tour pack setup is and how I did it. And I couldn't have done it without the original idea and the help from my buddy Nolan. So Nolan, if you're watching, thank you, because you're the one that gave me the inspiration to do this. We'll talk about the iterations it's gone through, different setups over the last year and a half-ish or whatever. But first, we got to roll that intro, and then we'll come back.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a thing that you found.
All right, so this platform, those of you who don't know my bike, it's a Lowrider S M8 Softail. Specifically, mine's a 20, but they're all the same. So this is actually marketed, this whole contraption is based off of, it's annoying to bend down, but I want you guys to see close to the product. So this whole contraption is based off of the Sport Glide detachable rack, luggage rack. Basically, all this is this exact metal piece you see, and it has the attachment spots and hardware to be used with the Harley hold fast docking hardware. That's the same hardware used for a detachable sissy bar or a tour pack or stuff like that. It's all kind of the same. It's like 40 something bucks. Everything will be linked in the description, but it's like 40 something dollars for the hardware that goes on the actual fender struts. And then obviously each piece is different. Now, this rack, according to, like, if you go on Harley or whatever, I don't know about as of right now, but at the time and for the past 2 years, every time I check, this rack is not marketed to fit the Lowrider S specifically. Like when you go on the Lowrider S and everything, it won't show up as a marketed item for it. However, they are the same wheel width, same fender widths and everything like that. It obviously does fit because I've been using it on mine. And again, wouldn't have known that. Wouldn't have gotten the idea without Nolan's help, so thanks again for that. For those of you who don't know how this hold-fast docking hardware works, I'll bring you guys over to the bike and show you, everything close, but basically, there's two kind of nubbies that sit on your fender struts, front and forward. The front ones hook in first, and then the rear ones kind of lock onto it. Now, this is detachable, so it's not foolproof as far as like people stealing or whatever like that. However, they do sell, Harley does to my knowledge, and there's a bunch of aftermarket companies that do it as well, attachments that you retrofit to either, like your sissy bar or this rack or any other kind of hold fast docking, not hardware, because that's the hardware, but hold fast docking unit, anything that would dock to the hold fast hardware. And it basically locks in there, and then it requires a key and stuff. So, in case you're worried about that. So when you get this, it's literally just this sheet of metal, and there's these 4 slotted holes as well as these 2 big holes on there. So basically, you could buy whatever style Pelican case or Harbor Freight style, whatever case you want, you could buy and just drill to fit. So specifically, this is the Pelican Air, and it's the 1525 case. I obviously have retrofitted it with a vinyl cutout for the Ride and Dad in the same blue color scheme I have, everything else going on. I had some vinyl custom printed. I will tell you this vinyl, this is automotive grade vinyl, and it does not want to stick to this at all. So over time, I'll probably wind up just ripping it out, maybe just putting a sticker there, whatever. The other cool thing about this case, I can't speak for all the other Pelican cases, is that it has a business card slot, which doesn't really matter too much, except I have business cards made up with a QR code for my Linktree, which is my Tucker Speed affiliate, my YouTube, my TikTok, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, all in one place with my Ride and Dad logo. So that's kind of cool. It's got like a little plastic cutout. You can remove it and stuff and then put a business card in there. Just kind of a nice touch to have sitting on the bike. Again, this is the 1525 Air case. So obviously there'll be a link in the description, but to open the air cases, you have to push in on these little tabs. It's kind of weird to do it this way, but you push in on these little tabs and then you can pull the levers up and then it opens. I specifically went ahead and bought it without the foam or any interior. I didn't need that. You might want that for your setup. You might want that kind of pick and pluck foam. That way you can, put different categories. If it's going to be primarily for a camera setup, if you're a motovlogger or something like that, you can have different spots and it's protected with the foam. For me, I just left it blank. These cases are 100% waterproof and stuff, so it is a pretty cool spot to put some stickers that you actually care about. Obviously, I think we all know these two are the coolest stickers in there, but it's a nice place to put some stickers. Obviously, you can put stickers on the bottom and everything as well. This air case specifically is self-venting, self-regulating, pressure regulating, whatever you want to call it. There's not the old school pressure valve where you loosen if you're going, like, if you are using this as, you know, like a tour pack and touring the States or touring overseas or whatever, and you're going from a place of really low elevation to high or vice versa. You know, obviously old school, you would want to maybe depressurize that and then lock it back up. This is self-pressure regulating, so you don't have to worry about that on the air cases. It's a very sturdy construction. It does stay closed or open pretty good. And then when it finally closes, close it. When it closes, there's two spots to lock. You can put whatever locks you want on there if you want. I went ahead and got these Amazon combination ones, so I don't have to worry about yet another key setup on my bike. But these are pretty nice. They stay closed without having to adjust the combination. Hopefully you guys can't see the combination, so you can't come and find me and steal my crap. But I mean, you set your own combination. I have two of them just because if one's on there, you could still technically, you know, God, that's a weird angle. You could still kind of pry it open a little bit and get to whatever you want, or if you just want it to be rude to me, you could pour water or something stupid in there, whatever. But you can lock it up. It stays secure, no issues with that at all. So the first setup of this I had was with a smaller, I think it was still an Air. I don't even remember I don't have it anymore. But it was a smaller one because at the time I had the FXR Division hard saddlebags, which opened up instead of sideways. Now, those of you unfamiliar with my bike setup, I'm running the Leather Pros, which open sideways. They're quick detach also. So basically my entire bike, although it's set up really well to go touring and just have a lot of luggage right now with the Leather Pros and this, all of them can come off in a matter of 30 seconds to a minute, store them in the garage, and my bike is pretty much naked again, which is cool, something that I like. Not all the time you need luggage, but it's nice to have it when you want it or need it. So, and if you're wondering, the Holdfast hardware, I cover this in my bag review, but the Holdfast hardware can be used with the FXR Division bags that I had and the Leather Pros. It's the Holdfast hardware, the docking hardware from Harley can be used with just about most, if not all, that I can think of saddlebag options on the market. So, like I said, I had a smaller one. It was more narrow because I had to be able to open the bag still, and I did not like the way that one looked at all. So it does help having a wider case. Honestly, I would even prefer if this was maybe 2 or 3 inches wider, but the specifications that I wanted, this seemed to fit the best without being crazy tall or crazy wide or whatever. If you really wanted to go all out and ride 2 up and have this kind of setup, I'm sure you could figure out some sort of mounting setup to put a sissy bar pad on here for your passenger, and then you could kind of have an all-in-one. But for me, that's just not something that I need right now. So how I mounted this, you could see on the back, like we talked about, it's got these 4 slots. So basically you just put your box wherever you want it, line the slots up. You can even see the Sharpie from where I drew the slots and everything. And I basically just drew the slots and then picked a point where I wanted to drill, drilled them out. I used some stainless steel, grade 5, and then some grade 8 hardware. This is not under a ton of stress, so you really don't need grade 8 hardware. I mean, the plastic's gonna fail before the grade 5 or even the stainless steel would, but either way, I used just some standard hex bolts. I don't even remember what size they are. You can use really whatever size you want. I think I stayed with the standard and SAE size just for sake of if something ever came loose or if I needed to change or tighten or whatever. The hardware I have on the bike for the rest of the bike are not hardware, but tools. Tools I have on the rest of the bike, or tools I have for the rest of the bike with me at all times when I take these trips, they would obviously be able to fit the same thing. So I just went ahead and did a fender washer and then a rubber washer underneath. Figured that would be pretty good to seal this up from the elements. Now this is obviously watertight on here, but obviously it could let theoretically water in from the underside because this plastic base has been compromised by me drilling holes. However, the water would literally have to like push up because this is sitting on top of the fender. So I'm really not worried about that. But like I said, just in case to form a pretty good seal, or God forbid if I have anything, if I'm taking like food home from a takeout joint or something like that, and something spills or whatever, hopefully this will keep everything in and or out of this and it'll it'll keep everything designed, or everything where it's designed to be kept, you know. So rubber washers, fender washers, regular hex bolts. And then if you look on the bottom, got some fender washers again and some locking hardware. Now you could use a locking, not O-ring, a lock washer. You could use a locking washer and a regular nut, but I just went ahead and got some nylon locking nuts. Figured that was the best solution for me. With nylon locking nuts, that's the tongue twister. You're not supposed to use Loctite at all, so just kind of if you're gonna DIY this, just something to note if you don't already know that, just leave them bare. So yeah, setup's pretty cool. Let's go over to the bike. I'll show you how easy it is to put on and off and how it looks. All right, so like I said, I have my Leather Pros on. There's really no instance where I would run this and not my Leather Pros, so they're just on for sake of, continuity, I guess here. The whole fast docking hardware is mounted below the Leather Pros, or in between them and the fender struts. So basically you just push these front kind of U-shaped pieces onto the whole fast in the front, and then once the front is on and it's pushed forward, you just drop it into place, meet some friction, push down, and it clicks. It's engaged. Now it is locked on the bike. The only way to get it off would be to pull those two tabs. Now it's gonna be pretty damn near impossible for me to show you those with the setup. The camera's never gonna be able to pick it up. I will say for my setup with the Leather Pros, it is kind of a pain in the butt to take it off, which is part of why I haven't invested in that locking hardware yet. Because where you grab those little nubs, the Leather Pros kind of block it. So for me, normally you would just kind of reach down and do it, but for me, I have to kind of reach in here and use, where is it at? Use kind of the sides of my fingers weirdly and kind of grab it and pull them, and then use my elbows and my arms to pull the setup up. And then at that point, it comes off. But again, even that little bit of a hassle is still super easy. The whole thing comes off really easily. Whole thing goes on really easily. The setup is not cheap, unfortunately. I posted all the the links in the description, but offhand, I believe the tour pack or the rack that is designed for the Sport Glide was like 100, 150 or whatever. You can find them used on Marketplace and stuff. I think that's where I found mine. So I got a little bit of a discount on it, but it was pretty much brand new. And then these Pelican cases are not cheap, especially these Air. This is, I think it was around $150 to $200 just for this case. But if you plan on actually using it and keeping it for a while, I don't think there's any better setup to use. It's just it looks pretty cool. It's set up really well. You have a ton of space in here. I mean, this is a lot of space. If you're even, if you're gonna like Uber Eats or whatever, this is a ton of space to do food and stuff in here as well. You can fit probably, I would say probably about 4 takeout containers in here, no issues. And you could even, sky's the limit. You could just go as big as you want with these boxes. So a lot of different possibilities. It's really cool. Again, thanks to Nolan for giving me the idea. I finally found a box that I feel fits my build good. And I think that's about it. So thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, links in the description for this kind of tour pack setup. A bunch of you guys have been asking me about it, and I keep saying a video's coming. Well, here you go. Video finally came. Hopefully this answers a lot of your questions and gives you inspiration if you're thinking about doing it to your own build. Either way, hopefully you got something out of this video. If not, you maybe just wanted to check it out and see what it looked like, and you have no intention to do it. Make sure you're subscribed to the Riding Dad YouTube channel. I appreciate that as well. Check out all the links in the description, not only to buy products like this, but you can watch playlists devoted to these two builds, save yourself some money at Tucker Speed and some other sites. And until the next time, guys, ride safe, have fun, Dad out.